Okay guys, so today we are simplifying radicals with variables, but this time we are dividing them. So, thinking about division and with exponents, if I have two numbers that are the same, but they have different exponents, whatever's on the top and the bottom cancel out. So if I were to write this out the long way, this would say that I would have radical 20 x, y, 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 because there are three y's, all over 2 radical 15 x, 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 and then 1y. So if I were to go through this and cancel out the things that look the same, I have 1x here, I have an x here, so I'm going to get rid of both of those. I have 1y here, I have a y here, so I'm going to get rid of both of those. So that would tell me that I have radical 20, I have two y's, right? 1, 2, so that tells me I have y squared over 2 radical 15 and then x squared. Now, we can simplify this a little bit more. Can't we do something with both of these numbers, so the 20 and the 15? They're both under the radical, so that tells me that I'm allowed to go ahead and simplify those too. So I'm going to have 20 and 15. What goes into both of those? They both have a 5. So I could say that this is radical 20 divided by 5 gives me 4y to the second over 2 radical 3x to the second. Now we can take a look at this and say, okay, can I simplify any of this? Well, yeah, I can. I have a 4, right? 4 breaks up to 2 and 2, and then I have 2 y's, right? So I have a pair of 2's and a pair of y's. So up on the top, I'm just going to have 2y over 2 times anything. 3 doesn't break up in anything, it's just 1 and 3. The x's are a pair, so 2x radical 3. This is it's not my final answer yet, because I can simplify this a little bit more. The 2 and the 2 cancel, so that gives me y over x radical. Now I'm not allowed to have a radical in the bottom, so I'm going to multiply the top and the bottom by radical 3. So I have a radical 3 and a radical 3. So that's going to tell me, why can't I erase this? Whatever. I'm going to have y radical 3 over 3x, because the radical 3's become radical 9. Square root of 9 is 3, so y radical 3 over 3x. Okay, now let's try this next one. I think I can make it a little bit easier. We have a 4 and a 4. Those are both going to cancel. We can go ahead and look at our 2x over 3x to the third. We can put a big square root over all of that if we wanted to. We can cancel out this x, so this one goes away. This becomes a 2, so I have 2 over 3x squared, and I have a radical over both of these, or I could do one big radical. I can take out this x squared because the square root of x squared is just x, so now I have equals radical 2 x radical 3, and again, can't have a radical on the bottom, so we're going to multiply the top and the bottom by that radical 3. So we have radical 6 over 3x. That is my final answer. Okay, I'm going to give you a minute. I want you to go ahead and try out 13. I think that you're going to figure out what to do here. Okay, so the 4 and the 2 cancel, so I'm going to go ahead and just draw that here, say this is a 2, this goes away. So I have 2 radical 3k to the third over 15k with a radical over it. Now I'm looking at it, I have 3 and 15. How do 3 and 15 simplify out? So the 3 just becomes nothing, so now I have k to the third over radical 5, because 15 divided by 3 is 5. I have 1k on the bottom, 3 on the top, so that tells me that I have just radical 2k squared over radical 5, because this k just disappears. Okay, now square root of k squared, that's just 2k over radical 5. Again, not allowed to have a radical in the bottom, so I'm multiplying them both by radical 5. So that tells me that I'm going to have 2k radical 5 over radical 5 times radical 5. That's radical 25. Square root of 25 is just 5. Okay, go ahead and try the next one. So looking at this, it doesn't seem like there's that much that I can do. I can go ahead and simplify out these k's. I have 3 on the top, 4 on the bottom. So I'm going to have 1 left on the bottom, because I would have 1, 2, 3, and then 1, 2, 3, 4. These cancel, these cancel, these cancel. There's 1 left over. So I'm going to have radical 5 over 3 radical 3. Okay, so I'm going to multiply the top and the bottom by the 3x. So that's going to give me radical 15x over 3 times 3x. When I do that, it's going to tell me that that is radical 15x over 3 times 3 is 9x. This is the final answer. Okay, let's try this next one. Go ahead and try it on your own real quick. So, looking at this, I have a B4 and a B4 on the top and the bottom, so that means that these are both going to cancel out. So now I have a radical 8 over 4 radical 12. The 8 and the 12, these both have a 4 that go into them. So that tells me that I have radical 2 over 4 radical 3. Now I can't have a radical in the bottom, so I'm going to multiply the top and the bottom by radical 3. So now I have radical 2 times 3 is 6 over 4. 3 times 3 is 9. The square root of 9 is 3. So I have radical 6 over 4 times 3 is 12. This is the final answer. Okay, let's go ahead and try this next one. So you try it out first. Okay, so looking at this, I have x squared, these are going to cancel. 4 to the y, or y to the fourth, these are going to cancel. So now I have radical 2 over radical 3. Not allowed to have a radical in the bottom, so I'm going to multiply the top and the bottom by radical 3. That gives me radical 6 over 3 times 3 is 9. The square root of 9 is 3, so radical 6 over 3. Okay, we're going to go ahead and do part 2, so get ready for that.